Right, and that was a good dose of music from the legendary Dolly Parton there. And that will take us to the newspaper review unexpected. It's the State of the Nation's address dominating the papers. But I'll start with what the BNFT captured, and it says that economy escapes president's mind. Revive agrics to salvage economy from collapse. Those are the stories captured by BNFC. GIFEC to construct 80 rural telephony site. The Ghanaian Times newspaper says we're on path of progress. And Minority says address was propaganda exercise. An integrity award to check corruption mentioned by President Mahama yesterday. The Ghanaian Observer says NPP fires Mahama over SONA, hashtag SONA, State of the Nation address, says president engaged in propaganda. DKM scandal haunts Mahama, Paris blame onto BOG. The Herald newspaper says Afoko reveals Akufo-Addo Akufo-Addo's disrespect for Asantehene, but Nana Akomia issues silence order on NPP communications nationwide to avoid him. The General Telegraph says, I'm transforming Ghana. President Mahama, Akufo-Addo hates me, Paul Afoko reveals, and problems of poor drainage and flooding will end by June. And they're quoting the Accra Mayor, Alfred Oko van der Poy. Weekend Finder says, we is legal in Ghana, but ECG gets tough on house wiring. Those are the papers I have for the morning. And this morning we have two legal brains to help us do the discussion. And I'm happy to announce both of them. I have Gary Nimako with me here. Gary Nimako is a legal practitioner and also member of the New Patriotic Party. Gary, good morning. Welcome to the show. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, counsel, right? My counsel, right? And also, I have Abraham Amaleba. He's also a legal practitioner as well and a member of the National Democratic Congress. Good morning to you, Abraham, and welcome to the show as well. Good morning after a very good SONA yesterday. I knew that was coming. Yes. All right, and you didn't add anything?
You see, Amaleba is feeling a different better Ghana in his pocket. But,
that's funny.
We know what we are going through.
All right, then, okay. So, quickly, let me start off with, the papers are already here. Did you get to watch or monitor, whether it's radio or online, so I can pick your general impression, one on the president's delivery and the strategy they decided to apply, where, they had persons who are beneficiaries of projects, whether it's LEAP or people who have been given money to start businesses as part of, and also the slides where, roads were also, on the, what's it called, PowerPoint display of that. Let's talk about the strategy.
But honestly, I did not watch the program because all morning I was in court. I left court around 3 p.m. Okay. But I've heard excerpts.
When you came back, I'm sure news. You saw the news.
I've heard excerpts what transpired yesterday in Parliament. And basically you can see that what happened in Parliament was not a reflection of what is on the ground in Ghana. You see, what happened basically is the man chronicle of information of how he sees Ghana. How he sees Ghana. It's not how Ghana is as we speak. How Ghana is as we speak is not a reflection of what the president yesterday said. Okay. These are my general impressions for now. Okay, all right. We'll go into it, the details. I'll decide to go into the matter.
Abraham Maliba, what informed the strategy that the president decided to employ? And I have, I had some people say that yes, it was not a bad strategy to have those people stand up and acknowledge that they are benefiting, but also it was dragging and it made the whole presentation really long.
So let me say good morning to your viewers. Yesterday's near 3 hours.
It was over 3 hours, by the way.
A little over 3 hours presentation was clearly an innovation. An innovation in the sense that we had, for the first time in our SONA presentation, what is called the evidence-based approach to the delivery of the SONA. Your question is, why did the president adopt this strategy? We have a section of the Ghanaian population who are skeptical about the achievements of this government. You have a section of the Ghanaian population who have accused this government of collecting taxes, have also contracted loans, but there's nothing to show. When we started pointing to them the projects and showing them this green book I have in my hands, which is a compilation of the success story of the party and the government, they went further to say no, but it is not showing in our lives. So what the president sought to do yesterday was to connect the developmental projects to the improvement in the lives of people.
Okay.
And don't forget that the manifesto is changing lives, transforming Ghana. So you need to connect the projects to the people, and that's how come we had this evidence-based approach to delivery of the SONA.
Okay, so we have a third guest for the morning. She's a communications consultant, and I'm happy to have you. Kathleen Adi, good morning to you and welcome to the show as well.
Thank you.
Since you're a communications consultant, and yesterday I saw a tweet that was so funny. The person simply said, President John Mahama is the Messi of communication. You know, like, I mean, Messi is the best footballer in the world now. So the Messi means that he's good at communicating. Did you get to watch him? And what did you make of his, his delivery, the strategy they employed yesterday?
Yes, I did watch most of it. Yes, I did watch most of it. As the gentleman said, it was novel. It's a new way of doing things. In terms of effectiveness, I'm not so sure how effective it is because, you know, if it's almost as if you're suggesting these are the people that I have helped. Sure. But we know that, you know, I mean, there are so many other people, and for every one brilliant story, there could be 1,000 not so brilliant stories. Sure. And so I think for a government, the important thing is that you better make sure that actually what you are portraying is actually reflecting the lives of the people, because you see, there's nothing worse than attempting to promote a product that's not bad. That's the best way to kill it. Sure. So it's important that whatever it is you're out there projecting as you've done and all of that is actually reflecting in the lives of the people. Otherwise, the effect will be negative. Okay.
Even effect, not in terms of numerical terms, but effect in terms of on the day of the delivery itself. There was some who held the view that that strategy employed by President Mahama further made it made it long, further dragged it, further made it drab.
Yes, yes. Well, you can look at it that way. Personally, I thought it was a bit too long, but you know, it's the style that is the approach that he chose to use. And there's nothing wrong with, you know, deciding that this is the style that I want to use. The point is about the effect and the impact and whether you are able to achieve your objective. If your objective is to convince people, did you achieve that objective? Because you see, communication does not happen in a vacuum. It has to be for a purpose. So did you manage to convince people that this is truly... Sure. You see, because if people don't see the reflection in their lives, you can line up 5 nicely dressed people, it really will not make a difference because it's their lives that will determine. So for me, that's the most important thing.
What if they tell you that, you know, they can't bring all of them? That's what they brought, like, sort of heads.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, that you better make sure that it's actually a true reflection of what is happening on the ground, because if it's not, it will only backfire.
So that's just a minute of the larger picture. Yes. All right, then. Yeah. So I would want to go into details of one of the stories captured by the Ghanaian Times newspaper, and Gary will start this one, where it says that we are on path of progress. And Ghanaian Times says, you know, President Mahama yesterday presented the 2016 State of the Nations address and to Parliament, you know, he showcased the progress being made towards transforming Ghana. Now, according to him, significant progress had been achieved from the development interventions in the various sectors of the economy, indicating that the nation was on the path of transformation. So, Gary, I mean, it's no secret if you're in Ghana, the hashtag transforming Ghana, changing lives keeps, you know, is every day you're bombarded with it. And yesterday he sought to show us, you know, when it came to the road project, he went to region by region to show us, you know, where the road projects are ongoing. That's a way of lifting the economy, isn't it?
Brilliant.
Yes, please.
You see, we live in Ghana. I can say for a fact that for the past at least continuously 6, 7, 8 years, we've been around. So whatever happens in Ghana, those who live in Ghana are better placed to tell the people what we feel, what we see. on a daily basis and in our lives. Now, if the president says that they are on a path of progress, it means a continuous work that is ongoing.
Sure.
Now, the question I ask myself is that the path that they are on, what is the reflection of that path in our daily lives? That's very critical. Because if you are on a certain path, to a certain direction, the people that you are serving must have a feel of what exactly you are doing.
But he recognized that there were challenges.
You see, the difficulty we have in this country, and I think one of the stories also says that the doomsday is even over. Bridget, even as of yesterday, there was doomsday in parts of North Legon, where I live, including my house. I couldn't get light till this morning. So if you make a declaration that doomsday is over, how do I understand and agree that doomsday is actually over in this country? Again, we all know the effects of these surges of an increment of power, energy costs in this country. AGI were complaining that look, the power increments are too much. Our people cannot afford it. It's concomitant effect on even the businesses, and even it's too much. Or they came and said, well, we can't do anything about it. PURC were now becoming PROs for ECG. The people of Ghana must have a feel. You see, when the government says, I'm doing something for you, they must enjoy that feeling in their various homes.
The hospitals will benefit people. The schools will benefit people.
Where are the schools?
They have rippling effects.
Where are the schools?
You haven't seen them.
Where are the schools?
That's not.
The president promised that he was going to build 200 secondary schools across the country.
He hasn't denied that.
And how many so far has he built so far?
Commissioned.
Commissioned what?
I'm asking, is it commissioned or what?
How many? No, we are by November. By November, when we go to the polls, you tell us how many schools that they have built over the last 4 years that they've been in power.
According to the promise.
You see, go to the book that Amaliba is holding. They have listed projects that they claim to have done. Total cost of the projects in that book is $7 billion. Government has borrowed over $37 billion. The question I ask myself,
where is
the rest of the money, where is the money? Where did it go? You see.
But that figure has been challenged, by the way. The communications minister
let them keep on challenging it. Let them keep on challenging it. You see,
by the way,
the difficulty I always have in this country is that they say, well, we are rather exposing the corruption, but we are dealing with the matter. Look at the smartest deal, for instance.
He mentioned it yesterday.
And the question I asked myself, and I don't understand, they say there was excess payment of $1.9 million Ghana cedis. Amaliba, that excess money, how did it happen in the first place?
Oh, Gary, you're taking us back.
I'm not taking you back. I'm just trying to let you understand that, look.
Yeah, you're taking us really back.
The way things are being done in this country, we have a big difficulty. And the truth of the nation is that, look, this corruption, these problems we are going through in this country, I do not think that what the president said yesterday was a reflection of what is on the ground. What is on the ground is that the problems that they say they are not dealing with it. And if anybody is feeling with the problems in this country,
yes. What are those that they are not dealing with?
One, is the corruption. Too much corruption.
How?
Oh, I'll give you one example right now.
Yes, you're giving the Smarties deal. Yes, I'm hoping that will feature in the next, Transparency International report, whether it would send us up or down. 2,
we have this SADA is there, and they say they are prosecuting somebody, but the corruption is there. 3, we have NHIS collapsing. Now cash and carry has now been brought back into the fore. It's back into the fore.
Okay, all right. Gary, your point as well. I want to, you as well. When the president says, we're on the path of progress, he recognized last year when he delivered State of the Nation address, it was a very gloomy picture that he painted of the impact of the energy crisis on students, on businesses, on industries, and said, well, he was going to fix it. And even before the delivery, a lot of experts had said that he should dare not come and say that I have fixed it, because what we're experiencing is even suppressed. We're not really utilizing our peak, the maximum, which is over 2,000 megawatts, because we are now around 1,600 thereabouts megawatts. But then he made the pronouncement anyway. So when he says that, given the challenges that are obvious, what is it a betrayal of what's really on the ground, or, well, he has a right to say we're on the path to progress? Because indeed, some progress have been made.
Well, you always look at what was promised within what time frame and what has been delivered, you know, because as for progress, every day is progress. You sleep, you wake up, you've made progress. As long as you're not dead, you're moving.
Sure.
So really, it depends on what was promised, what was said will be, what he said will be delivered within a particular time frame. That's what determines, you know, that should be the benchmark for assessing whether progress has been made or not. So what exactly did he say? He said, I will fix it, right? And what in this context, what is fixing?
So would stop.
Is that all? Is that fixing? Is that because the problem was not just the fact that there was doom so. The problem was not just the fact that power kept going on and off. The problem was the fact that it was affecting lives negatively. You understand? So
no, I don't understand.
Well,
because if you say that the problem was not the power going on, that was the problem. The problem was the effect of that.
Sure. Do you understand? The effect of that. What was the effect? It was the fact that businesses were closing down. Small businesses that are the backbone of our economy were closed. In my own neighborhood, several cold stores, for instance, had to close down. Several small shops that, you know, the corner stores that we use in our neighborhoods had to close down their freezer section. You know, that has implications for jobs, for quality of life. For me, those are the things. It's not the surface things. Okay, today it's on. It's on. And so today you've put it on at what cost? Do you understand? So for me, fixing is not just the light coming back on.
But how about looking at not just energy, but the other elements of it?
The whole,
whether it's education, health, on the path to progress.
All of that. If people cannot afford it, what is the point? If schools are having to do without electricity because the bills are so high that they cannot afford to pay, it doesn't matter whether the electricity is on or off. You see, the important thing to measure is the effects and the impact. That is the important. We tend to overlook those things. We like to tick boxes. Okay, today I've switched the light on. Nobody can afford it. So what have you achieved actually? I hope you understand what I'm saying.
I guess you, Kathleen. But then, how about, that's why we have interventions. That's why we have the lifelines.
Well, you see, the lifeline is not going far enough. Because if you have people that you claim are the so-called middle class, are the so-called employed, and they're all weeping bitterly. People are spending more than 100 cedis a week on electricity. And it's not because they're doing anything extravagant. It's just because, and most people leave home. They leave home, they put off their whatever, they leave home. So it's morning and through the night. The only thing that's on is freezer. People come back and they've lost 100 cedis. They've lost 150 cedis. It is not you can't expect people to give what they don't have.
Okay. So in this case, what would you have expected in place of that?
If it's fixed, it must be fixed to at least, at the very minimum, what we had before Doomso. Look, nobody will run away from the fact.
You mean when you say what we had before Doomso, in other words, the light should stay on at the same cost or what?
No, that's what I'm coming to, that nobody disputes the fact that electricity is expensive, that probably the cost of electricity is going up, that probably people have to pay more. But when you say people have to pay more, you now have to look at quantum. What is the quantum of the more? You understand? You can't, if you say that people should pay, you can only provide electricity at 5,000 cedis a month. And if you can't pay, if you can't afford it, then, well, as for me, I've supplied it. It's not good enough. Fixing it is not switching the light on. Okay. Fixing it is ensuring that the light is on and all the reversals that were made as a result of Doomso are actually being clawed back. As we stand, businesses are still closing because even though the light is on, they cannot afford it. The effect is the same.
Okay, all right.
It's the same.
Abraham Aliba, looks as if just to pick on the point where she ends, about impact. All of this is to impact the lives of Ghanaians. But from what I'm hearing from the two, it looks as if that impact was least felt.
The impact of the delivery?
Of the delivery, of what President Mahama says. Of what President Mahama says, one, has been done. Two, that it does not in any way erase or erode.
In fact, the general consensus, and when I say general consensus, it means that majority of people agreed that the president's submission was...
Which majority?
It was script.
One moment.
The president was able to communicate effectively to the people of this country, and that style resonated with the people of this country. They accepted the style. They realized that the president was linking his development projects to the well-being of the people. So generally, there was acceptance for the style that the president used.
You know, that will be measured after days.
No,
I mean,
but you social media, you saw responses everywhere.
Okay.
And you saw people yesterday on various platforms, TV stations, acknowledging the style and saying that yes, it resonated, and so that style was effective in communicating to the people the developmental projects that this government has put in place. Now, the president himself did not say it was Uhuru yet. That's not what he said. Indeed, the president said there's still more work to be done.
Okay. So let's stay on energy, for instance. Was it, president shouldn't come out and say it's been fixed.
So the president said there was still more work to be done, acknowledging that what he has done was towards getting us to where we want to get to. On energy, I'm shocked to hear that because lights went off at East Legon the previous day, it meant that Dumso was not over. Let's go back to the days that were not in Dumso. We never had lights off, isn't it? No light went off in an area. What was the situation before the 3 years of Dumso? Did we sleep in rooms throughout our lives without the lights going off? So that is not Dumso. Dumso is when there's a shortfall in generation. As I speak to you now, there is 7% above demand, thereby effectively exorcising Dumso. If you have local outages, that could be in an electrical, this lights here, you people, don't at times this your cameras go off. Doesn't mean that it's a debilitating issue. I'm surprised at that submission. We have put in place mechanism to ensure that we have a reserve margin. As we speak, more plants are coming up. Jacobson is coming up. Amandi is coming up. Pong is on test run. We want to have a reserve margin to the extent that ECG will not make those announcements for you to hear again. The following areas are going off. We apologize for. When we have a reserve margin, they will quietly take you off to another one whilst the works are going on. Wow. And those days will come to pass. We are working towards that. Acknowledge what we are doing and say, let's do more. But to poo-poo it and make it as if nothing is happening. See, the over 71,000 households who are benefiting from LEAP today will not speak the way my colleagues are speaking. They have seen improvement in their lives. The over 71,000 LEAP beneficiaries will not speak that way.
So your concern is more for the people at
NHIS is not collapsing.
But the president recognized there's a problem with NHIS. In fact, that is why they are even conducting investigations into it. And I think you mentioned there will be a committee to that effect to even relook and redesign the whole NHIS.
Yes. In fact, there is problem when you are drinking water. Huh? There's problem when you are even bathing. You could slip and fall. There's problem when you are even lying on your bed. People sleep and the following day you have what on their neck. Everything has difficulties. And the reason why we are in government is to manage those difficulties. If not, nobody will be in government, nobody will be a politician. So the point is that, yes, there are challenges. What the president sought to do yesterday was to bring people to show those who said nothing is happening. I'm surprised to hear people say that, oh, just is one person, one person, one person. The house he went to, we are all supposed to be there, but people are representing us there. Okay. The house where he went and spoke that way. In fact, we are supposed to be there, but all of us, we can't go in there. A small one. Two, let's allow some people to be there. So you can go to your law and do your law things. You can go to your communication. You can go to campaign. And we allow some people to represent us. Okay. It was a representation of what happened all over the country with the projects of the government.
Okay. All right. So I want to come back to you, Gary, and look at the story captured by the Business and Financial Times, which says that economy escapes president's mind. And that story is on page 3 of that paper and says, President John Mahama delivered, of course, the State of the Nation. And it says, delivering his last State of the Nation address during his first term, the president expectedly spent a considerable portion of his 3-hour 32 minutes speech to convince the Ghanaian public of all the brilliant success his administration has achieved through education, health, and other facilities. And though what he referred to as evidence-based address, the president paraded a stream of, I wanted to go, okay, yet the impacts of the Mahama administration's policies on economy's health were largely missing in an address that is supposed to provide a thumbnail sketch of the state of the nation. What, if you had the opportunity, what about the economy would you want? For some, they wanted to know about, let's say, programs that would help in the stabilization of the city, for instance. I want to start off from you. Did you also get that? Did you?
Yes, well, I mean,
not necessarily speak to the economy per se, because he touched on other aspects. Exactly, all of them come together to make up the economy.
To make up the economy. And as we've been told, it's a new style that apparently everybody has praised, So it's a new style. So maybe he doesn't want to go into the normal, the normal thing of talking about economic indicators and all of that. But I think that, the economy is what drives the country. So a little bit more on that would have been useful, would have been helpful. I think a State of the Nation address, one of the things it's supposed to do is to tell us how far we've come on different aspects of our lives. You understand? So how come we've come on health, on education, and how far we've come on our economy is also very important. The key things that help run this economy, things like agriculture, industry, energy, and those kinds of things. I mean, a bit more on all of that would have been nice, especially considering the fact that, we do live in a time of economic crisis right now. Now, somebody said that maybe because there was not much good news, that's why the issue was avoided altogether. I don't know. I don't know the thinking that went into it, but definitely I think that how the economy is performing should have been something that should have featured more in yesterday's delivery, given that he did speak about other things. When it comes to the economy, I worry about agriculture and the fact that, there's been such a spectacular decline in the agricultural fortunes of our country. I worry about the fact that industry is almost non-existent, about the fact that the few industries and businesses left are struggling as a result of the high cost of doing business, which has, some of it has to do with the electricity and all of that. So yes, a bit more on the economy and what steps are going to be taken to ensure that it will actually get better, especially in this election year. He did assure, though, that
he still won't spend out
the spending,
the fiscal discipline.
But that's the fiscal discipline. But that fiscal discipline, we see it in terms of, for instance, when they talk about it, they refer to things like not bending to demands of labor, for instance. But we are still seeing the typical election
back and forth.
Yeah, but we are still seeing the typical election spendings. So where are those monies coming from? We see governments donating things here and there. We see.
You think those are not planned?
I don't know if it's captured. I'm not saying it's not captured. All I'm saying is that we did say, if he's saying that we will not go outside of, we will not overspend this election year, but we are seeing the typical things that we are beginning to see, branded things and all of that being distributed here and there. Do those things not contribute?
I wish you could help me, give me an example of that.
Well, recently we saw donations of outboard motors.
Okay.
Yeah, we've seen, at least on social media, branded goods that are being distributed in some places. My point is only the beginning, it's early days yet. My point is that, do these not constitute things that are not, or are they budgeted for? You know, sometimes we need to hear explanations for these things, because if so early in the game we've already seen things being distributed, what's going to happen in August? Okay. You know what I mean? So for me, it's important that we get a clearer picture about our economic situation, what is going to be done to ensure that, you know, things don't get worse, things actually get better. Okay. Look at the interest rates, for instance. You know, it's completely unacceptable. So businesses are now having to struggle to pay interest, ridiculous amounts of interest. In fact, they can't even get money from the banks, because the government has absorbed all the excess finances as part of the borrowing culture. You know, so economy is not great, and it was avoided.
All right, then, Gary, yeah, what about the economy would you have liked President Mahama, for instance, to address?
Well, I think that basically, if you live in a country and the economy is good, the feeling will be felt across board.
You are not feeling it. Others are feeling it.
Well, those who are feeling it, maybe my brother Maliba is feeling it, but I'm not feeling it. And I'm telling you, I'm not feeling it, because if you raise even invoices for clients, they're unable to pay you, because they tell you that, look, our businesses are not running. Things are hard for us. Now, if, for instance,
if you go in for a recalcitrant client who doesn't like paying, is that what does that got to do with
it? Please, not
your
that's
not really
not your turn. 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 You are both lawyers. Please, I don't want to listen to your legal jargons. And no, please go ahead. Gary, please go on.
The point I'm making simply is that if things are good, everybody will feel it. You will feel it, and I'll feel it. Now, this government has introduced so many taxes, and even increased more tax even at the ports. Guta, they came recently, they were crying. That when they import items to the country, the tax are just too much. What the president saying about the taxes that are increased?
But aren't we supposed to rather promote what we have? They are importing what?
No, but things in this country, what I mean, if you look at what is happening, we import almost everything, including even toothpick.
I agree.
Yes, so if they are importing, they must pay taxes, yes. But don't forget that the more tax the government introduces into the system, me and you must pay, because no businessman will bring in anything and they will not shift the cost onto the consumer. Now, the more things are done that way, it makes cost of living so high. Now, AGI and industries in this country, they came out and they were complaining that the taxes also on them is also high. Power matters problem. They kept complaining. What intervention is the government making to ensure that these businesses are able to run very well? Now you come and tell me that you went to LEAP and donated some small peanut to the people, and therefore
call them small. They don't call
them
small.
And therefore those money that you give to them,
yeah,
it should be a reflection,
yes,
of what is in the country.
Yes, if you've lived in poverty before and you can't get salt to put in soup.
Amaliba, it's not your time, please.
No, but it needs to be told.
It's not your time. So note your point. Amaliba, note your point. Note your point. Note your point. So just note your point. When is your turn? Yeah, go ahead.
If you've seen poverty, walking barefoot.
Larry, go on, please.
Amaliba, you made even Bridget now call me Larry instead of Gary. you see, the bottom line that we are making is very simple. I think that the things are not done right. Things are not working the way they should be.
Sure.
Now look at the rate of unemployment in this country. Young from the university, they come out of the university, then they say, well, there's no employment. Now if your youth are not employed, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? So what is the president saying about unemployment in this country? What did he say about that one? Note it down. What did he say about unemployment in the country? So you see, I think that you have to attack the problem holistically and tell us sector by sector what you are doing to address the problem and the concerns of Ghanaians. Who, me and you, ordinarily will want things done in a way that our lives can be better. That is all.
Okay. All right. Amaliba, now you have your moment to... I'm not going to ask you a question, just to respond to a quick one about the issue of unemployment. But I remember, was it 2014, I think, State of the Nation address, where President talks about, setting up employment centers to take details of persons, who are unemployed and all of that. I mean, a lot of people, get frustrated when they hear things like Association of Unemployed Nurses, Association of Unemployed Graduates.
But the President touched on reconstituted JIDA, which is now called Youth Employment Agency.
Yes, he mentions. Yes,
he mentioned that one.
Yes,
and it has been restructured. Wow. Currently, they are rolling out some models. I'm aware the nursing model is rolled out. That is a way of addressing part of the problem. The last time I was here, I indicated to you that up north, there are these tricycles, these yellow tricycles. When you go to India, you will see them, use them as taxis. They are also being offered by Maslow to the youth to use as taxis. And so he also talked about the youth policy.
Sure.
Yes. So there are steps to address it, but it is huge, and government alone cannot absorb. There's no country in this world where you can say that government alone have absorbed the teeming unemployed youth. So,
but the system must be softened. The system must be there to allow others to also create. Because we know for a fact, I mean, entrepreneurs will drive this country.
Yes. So, with the tough decisions having been taken, and that's why the president indicated that in his next term, which is 2017, the people of this country, will begin to feel money in their pocket because the tough decisions have been taken. The foundation has been laid. You know that. The problem I have with the two of you is that
what problem?
I have not come here to say things that you like. In fact, the things I'm going to say will help you. So fasten your belt. And I'm not going to badge you. I'm not going to say things that will please you. So forget it. Now, the point is that having taken the tough decisions, we are building, at the moment, we have 123 of the senior high schools at various stages. Some have been commissioned. You know what that means? Employment for teachers, librarians. These are people who will take money and go and give to their children. Apart from that, the schools are going to be free. So the fees you would have been paying, if probably you had sent your child to a boarding school somewhere, will now be left in your pocket.
But the supervisory role, you know, the check, the responsibility of GES to ensuring that that aspect of it is removed, the bottlenecks where, you know, you still have persons, teachers demanding, headmistresses demanding fees from the kids, from in the clothes of you know, whether it's studies or there are other particular things. And there was a point when TV3 went to interview one of the headmistresses of a school, and she said she sought permission from the district education of, and they said, oh, she can go ahead and go on the interview and tell them why they are charging the money. So that thing must be checked, or else parents are paying for it. It's not free.
I am excited at the no-nonsense posture of the Minister of Education, who fired headmistress at Central Region, one of the schools, for doing that. Yes. So this message has been sent out. As a headmaster, you dare not go beyond what has been approved or what is agreed that that's the government agenda. So with the foundation being laid, and when we talk about infrastructure, we have a deficit. We are building the infrastructure so as to lay the foundation for our next growth. We are a lower middle income country. We can attract investment only if the infrastructure is in place. Okay. Now, when the infrastructure is in place, then we can now move to the next level, which is a middle income country. All these things are done because we acknowledge that we need to provide for the needs of this country. This government is therefore doing it. I wanted to react to the National Health Insurance, and then you didn't allow me. When you have an outpatient utilization of, which rose from 29.6 million to 597 million, you don't call that collapsing. So I think that there is a grand scheme to poo-poo whatever government does and create an impression in the minds of the people that nothing is working. Okay. But when it comes to balancing the MPP record and the NDC record, clearly the NDC is far ahead. Okay,
so just back to the economy. People expected some, you know, policies. Wanted to hear things from President Mahama, for instance. You know, that would help. That would, for instance, I remember, was it last year's where he talks about, made in Ghana goods, and he took the opportunity. He himself was all clad in that. He himself, mentioned a couple of names, and then, a few days later, Parliament betrayed him by, getting their furniture. No, we've gone past that. But people wanted to hear things like that would stabilize the city, the local businesses.
This irony is too glaring for me.
What irony?
People say the man has kept long on his feet, and that it was too long.
I won't let
now
you
they are saying that
I won't let
they are
you
saying
lie.
that he didn't talk about something.
Okay,
the
I won't let you lie. No, please, one moment, please. You will continue. Okay.
Is somebody calling in?
Nobody is calling.
So let me finish myself.
No, but I lost my thought, but it's back. That's. You are saying people said are you saying that it was in there, but because of the time he did it? President Mahama had time to do all kinds of things.
That's what I'm saying. That I'm now addressing people who are saying that he had kept long, he had stood on his feet for long, it was too long. Some even say it was boring at a certain point in time. And they are now also saying that they are now saying that he should have touched on everything. It's not possible. If you want him to touch on everything, give him 2 days. Then you touch on everything. Point is that
made me laugh.
Point is that
yes,
the president talked about the economy.
Okay.
And you cannot talk about the economy without talking about the energy, the power, the dumso.
Sure.
What did he say? With the solution now provided for the dumso, the economy is now ready to take off.
Okay.
After 7 years?
Even if it is after 15 years, he was not the one who caused it. Sure. It was as a result of inertia. We are supposed to be including every year a certain amount of energy. We don't do it as a nation. So if the person who did not cause it is now fixing it, what you can do is to praise him.
Okay, all right. Wow. We'll move away from State of the Nation. Look at other.
There's MPP. There's MPP.
Gary, hold on. Gary, please. Thank you. I will ask her a question. But you got to watch, right?
Yes.
Is there anything that impressed you? Is there anything this government has done that you think is good policy? Probably they should continue. Is there anything at all?
Yeah,
just try
then,
and
can I just say a couple of things before I get to that?
Do you answer my question? Please, thank you.
Well,
unfortunately, we all won't get to you. Like you
said,
we'll need 2 days.
No, but he said some really interesting things that I have a couple of things.
No,
the thing about the fact that JIDA has now been restructured and has a nursing model. We have nurses who are screaming that they have finished their training, they haven't been employed. We have nurses who have not been paid. This is window. Strange. I find it strange that you've built schools without disability access, and there's a problem, and you want to push that as something. Right. I find it strange that existing teachers are not being paid. That they have arrears. Yes, you are saying you're saying that you're building schools and you employ more teachers. I do understand. Listen, I'm just saying that I do understand some things.
No, but that's why I want to clear.
I find it also strange that you are saying that you're talking about the fact that you are being hard on the heads of schools in terms of the fees they charge. The heads of schools are not charging these fees for nothing. It is because government, the money that is supposed to be given them to run the school, it's not enough. That is the problem. How are they supposed to maintain aesthetic quality if they can't get the funds needed to run the schools? Okay. What is happening is that the quality of education is actually going down.
All right.
And then we are talking about investment as a result of infrastructure. When we have this debt, there are implications around the kind of investment you attract, depending on the debt that you have.
America owes about 19 trillion.
Where?
They all.
Are you comparing Ghana to America?
They owe Mexico over 15.
No, I'm just saying that
it's not a good.
It's not a good.
Owing is not.
It is a problem. It is a problem if the economy cannot sustain that amount of debt. Okay. So it is not enough to say that we cannot begin to compare ourselves to America. Look at the levels of income, even the price of petrol. We can't. That
but what has to change? What has to change?
No, but I just want to make people make this thing all the. It is not. It is very bad to make that kind of comparison.
Has to change? No, yeah. I'm not talking about this government. The problem with this country, we have over 60% of our budget is funded donor support. So if you have that, you're constantly and consistently going to have that kind of thing. No, how does it change?
There is nothing wrong with debt.
Exactly.
I'm not saying, but your debt. What are you using the money for? Listen, if you go and get a loan for a business, right, and you get 50 million cedis for a business, and you use just 10 million for the business to pay for it, and the rest goes into fancy cars and big houses, how do you intend to pay the loan? Because you don't raise, you see, the thing about loans is that the money is supposed to work and generate income. But if only 10 million is generating the income, the rest of the 40 million that is driving around in fancy cars does not generate income. Do you understand what I mean? So look, I'm sure there were, for me, for me, and looking at basic things, ordinary things, the thing that stood out for me was the fact that I think that in terms of, what did he say? He said about physical education coming back into the curriculum. I think that is very important. I think we overlook that a lot, you know, because in the long run, it brings down the healthcare bill. So, you know, I don't remember anything. And after the speech, I couldn't find something to read. The paper didn't come out for many. I think that's the time I was going to bed very late in the night. The paper still was not out. So I don't remember all the details, but this one did stand out for me, that the president did raise the fact that because you see, in terms of healthcare, we must do more to ensure that people don't get sick, as opposed to people getting sick and putting money. So for me, that stood out. Yes.
All right then, Gary, quick one, and then we'll move on about. You said you had to rebuttal.
Yes, I just want to correct my brother Maliba that their last term in government is this year, January 2017.
That's not for you to decide, it's for the Ghanaian people to decide.
Exactly.
All right,
but Catherine said there was no access to
disability. The new schools you have them. All right, thank you.
Is it for all the schools?
All the way up.
Is it for all the schools? Are you sure?
Yes, all of them. There's no way that a building will come up today like this. It's a requirement of the law that it must be there.
But it's not even in Parliament. It's not there, so she's not out of place to say that. I mean, I'm saying that in Parliament where?
No, that's an old bill. I'm saying that now the law on disability provides that every new building,
it's like Bob Green Street putting some pressure on you guys.
Oh no, there's a law on that. There's a law.
All right, but then I want to move on to talk about the minority, where they are supposed to also bring out their own State of the Nation address. Is it today? Is it today?
It will come.
It will come.
That will be the true state.
That is according to the minority. You're a communication specialist, and it happens all the time. Every year, you know, after the delivery, then the minority will also do their own true State of the Nation address. That kind of line, is it healthy?
Oh, it's very healthy. You know, whichever a government will not be effective without a strong opposition. No government is effective without strong opposition, because as human beings, we need to have that balance to ensure that as you're going this way, people are checking you, making sure that you don't do the wrong thing, and all. So opposition is absolutely essential for democracies to stand strong. So that is not, you know, but for me.
But in terms of the content.
What do you mean?
The content, as in, they will also present their own true state of their nation.
No, it's a good thing. And all governments have done it. All opposition have done it. So it's not like, you know, it's a good thing. It's a good practice, because we need to hear the other side of the story. No story has only one side, and nobody can claim that their story is their story. There's always
Bank
another.
Of Ghana says that we all say 30 billion, and opposition says 37 billion. Does that make the opposition figure right?
No. Listen, there are ways of tracking. You see, outside of this country, finance and economies are run in a transparent manner. Sure. So what a country owes is not a state secret, whereby only the governor of the Bank of Ghana can tell us that this is what we owe. There are ways. That is why people go to school and study economics and finance. Right. So there are ways of tracking what a country owes or not. So government can decide to, you know, window dress and polish it. Others will bring out the true picture. And as a people, we are entitled to know. You know, so as for me, it's a good thing. The important thing I keep saying is it's all about impact and effect. If you come and say things that does not reflect in the lives of people, you are doing more damage than good. So if you come out and say that everything is perfect in this country, look at this girl, she went to school. Look at this gentleman, he has a job. So because of that, everything is perfect. You are doing yourself a lot of harm if it does not reflect in the lives of majority of the people, because you will just create disaffection for yourself.
Thank you, Catherine.
The same for opposition. You know what I mean? You have to come and give a true picture, as true as it reflects genuinely on the ground. Otherwise, you will not be taken seriously. If you come and say that this and that and that, and it's, look, people have sense. People have, Ghanaians are intelligent. Ghanaians are intelligent. So if you come and attempt to whitewash a certain situation and give a picture, especially in this election year. You misfire like that, you will pay for it. It will hurt you.
All right, thank you.
You know,
so Gary, what would drive the opposition's true State of the Nation's address?
Yeah, you see, the government said, or Mama said, I've done infrastructure, and the question I asked myself: at what cost? At what cost? Because what we have realized going on is that a lot of the projects have been inflated, heavily inflated.
You haven't proven that.
Oh, you see, Bridget, you will bring the evidence today. You will see. You will see. You will see with the evidence. You see, the bottom line that we are all seeing is that they are finding so many ways to say we are doing the road, this road here, that road here, that road here. When we do the comparative analysis of the cost, it's been bloated and over bloated. That is the difficulty we have in the country. And that's where the money, the rest of them say, where is the money? Where is the rest of the money?
Baumia was asking.
You see? Now, I think that basically what is going to happen is that we must give Ghanaians a true reflection of what exactly is happening in Ghana. What we are actually going, what we feel, how we see our daily lives being run. And I'm telling you that if things are done right, if the economy is good, you don't need somebody to come and tell the economy is bad, because you feel it in your pocket. Because if, for instance, I come home and you ask me to give you 1 Ghana, and I cannot give you 1 Ghana, I say, look, when I went to work, maybe I've not been paid. Or I raise invoice, I've not been paid. How do I give you 1 Ghana? Or 50 pesos. So the bottom line is that the people who live in the country must reflect what is happening on the ground. Their lives must reflect what is called a true state of the nation.
All right.
So you don't come and tell us something, utopian, something somewhere. I say this is what is in the country.
All right.
However, the people who live in the country, they don't even see what is happening.
All right.
So, Amaleba, we are simply saying
you.
that let us have a feel of how we feel. A reflection of our daily lives should be reflected in the nation address. That is all.
All right. Thank you very much, Gary. And Amaliba.
Yes.
I mean, this is, every year, when the president delivers, of course, the opposition will also come out and do it. So it's expected, people expect that, yes, they will come out with their own State of the Nation address, and they will call it the true State of the Nation address. How do you perceive it, and what impact has that had, from previous ones on the
I've just
government?
turned to Article 67, and
I
I have seen that it's only the president who is mandated to deliver to Parliament a message of the State of the Nation.
Okay.
So if you christen yours as State of the Nation,
it's
a
called
violation.
true. They said true state.
And this NDC has never done before. Let's be fair. Let's be fair and true. It's a practice. It's a practice.
No, they call it true of the State of the Nation. No,
it doesn't matter what you call it.
Okay, but you've had the opportunity. Remember, you told him not to interrupt you.
Okay.
And I think I have to be fair to him. Please don't interrupt him. Thank you. Please continue.
In her case, she violently.
Oh, she didn't. She spoke like a woman. We are passionate people. Please, we are just passionate.
Violence is a strong word to use on somebody like me. Hey.
Don't worry.
So
it's fine. Don't worry.
You see.
All right, go on.
Anybody who then comes up to say he's also delivering what Article 67 has put in the purview within the powers of the president is violating this.
Okay.
So whether previously or now, this is a violation.
Okay, so to the substantive question about its impact and how you perceive it, how that shakes
I
governance.
think that if today the opposition comes with an address and also showing people whose lives have not changed, it goes to confirm what the president said in Parliament. The president said we are not out of the woods yet. There's more work to be done. So they will be showing us the more work to be done. You get the point? So what they will do today, unless, because see, some of these projects we have shown, people leave them. People virtually sleep with those projects. So they can't come and contradict those ones. But is it true that the president has provided shoes for school children? You can't contradict that. Is it true that the president has provided textbook for school children? You can't contradict that. But I know what they can do. What they can do is to also bring some people to say that, but look at this person. His life has not changed. And I say that the president has already addressed that situation and has said that those people, we need to do more to address their situation. So it's not going to be anything new. Have I addressed your issue?
Yes.
Yes.
So in other words, it doesn't make any impact.
It doesn't make any difference because and that is why when she indicated that when you come and say everything, I'm sure even the fickle-minded, nobody will ever come and say everything is rosy. Never. So the president has even acknowledged that we need to do more work. So today, I'll be glad for them to present us the more work people and we'll work on them.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to move away from State of the Nation, whether according to the NPP or the government. I mean, President Mahama has delivered the State of the Nation address, and he touched on a number of things captured by the various newspapers as well. And we'll move on and look at some more stories captured by there was an issue about the AMA and how it was one of the papers. Oh,
there's MPP matters too there.
I can't. Oh my God! It's actually disappeared. But we could talk about. No, not even you as well. But why? There's a paper here that has captured says that Nanadu hates me. That's Paul Afoko. That's a strong word.
I have not seen it.
Yes.
Is there?
The people who came for the paper. Oh, you're using my paper.
Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you. No, don't worry. Nana Akufo-Addo hates
the AMA brains which are choking.
Oh, I found it too. I have found it. I've also found it.
All those problems.
I've also found it. But that's a strong word. How do you how
Bridget,
he doesn't want to talk about it. Well, when a suspended chairman, he was at the State of the Nation's address yesterday, and for him to say that's a strong word. How do you think people should take this?
Okay, so I'm going to be very careful about this.
Sure.
These ones, people are careful talking about it.
Yes, because it's not a national issue. I'm sorry. Yeah.
He's the national chairman for the NPP. NPP is the biggest opposition party.
I'm sorry. We have to take, you see, there are political parties.
Sure.
And there are individuals within the political parties, sure. Right? I'm sorry. I think that what is relevant in terms of the national picture is the political party. Do you understand?
Sure.
I don't think that there's any political party in this country that does not have internal wranglings. Or Amaliba, you want to...
No, you're talking. Go ahead. No,
so for me, I'm sorry, the internal wrangling of a political party, to be honest.
So we shouldn't capture it.
I'm not saying don't capture it. I'm not saying don't capture it. I'm saying that don't give it the same level.
We have 5 minutes to go. We've discussed the
so what is the question? The question is that he says somebody said somebody hates him. That's what he feels.
It's a personal matter.
I don't honestly. I can't begin to fathom what that means. What the implications are for the nation. Do you understand? I would like to talk about national issues. Is this a national issue that somebody feels that somebody hates? Do you know the people who hate me in this country? I mean, no, I hope you understand what I mean.
I'm trying to. Actually, no, we don't have to. We've run out of time. So
somebody hates me. Mommy, my friend hates me. Please. I mean, it's a good thing to discuss in some circles. I'm sure within the circles of political parties, when they are looking at their rivalries and things like that, these are important things to discuss. At the national level, when ordinary Ghanaians have important things on their mind, to be honest, internal wranglings of a political party, I'm not sure
but if a leader of a political party has its chairman say that.
Is he the chairman of the party? Or what is the position? Do you understand? Who decides who is the chairman of a party?
The people who vote.
Yeah, but the party has a position, isn't it?
Okay.
Or the party doesn't have a...
Your point is well
made.
Yeah,
the party has a position. Why should... I mean, I don't see.
Catherine, your point is well made. Okay. Your point is well made. Amaliba, you have the final word. And then
but the people of Ghana have more important things to think about, to be honest.
We're done. We've discussed it. 1 hour, we're done.
You know why the internal wrangles of a political party should concern the larger Ghanaian population? Because we are seeking to give the reins of this country to them to govern. And if you have people who cannot work together, if you have a party whose leader cannot hold the people together, just within your political party, you can imagine when we give the reins of this country to that person. If you have a leader who cannot be criticized, just because he's a flag bearer, just because if you have a flag bearer,
you don't even have time. I've given you
no, if you have a flag bearer who cannot be criticized, just because he's a flag bearer. Can you imagine if he becomes commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces? Can you imagine? Can we talk in this country? So that is why it is important to be interested in the internal wrangles of a political party, because they are the vehicle on which we come to power. Now, if you give the reins of the country to those people, can you imagine what will happen to we, the ordinary Ghanaians? That's where the fear must come.
As in there have never been internal party wranglings in any other political party in this country.
You've had your moment.
For that party to come to power. Come on.
Today you brought two MPP
Gary,
to attack
Gary,
I'm not an MPP.
Gary, you have 10 seconds. You have 10 seconds. Gary, you have 10 seconds. You said you won't talk, but I'm giving you another.
You know it's factually incorrect. You know it's not correct. You yourself, you know.
That what?
That is not correct.
That he doesn't hit at
that he cannot control the party. You know it's not correct. Look, every party has, like a family, every party has got its own internal problems. You NDC, you don't have problems in Kotekole. I'm asking you a question.
Our time is up, all right. I want to say a very big thank you to Kathleen Adi. She's a communications consultant. Good morning, glad to have you on the show.
A communications consultant who has been tagged by dear Mr. Amaliba, who I'm meeting for the first time. Really nice meeting you.
Also,
I watch you all the time.
Abraham Amaliba is a legal practitioner and a member of the NDC legal team, member of the NDC communication. I know. One moment. And also Gary Nimako here. He's my counselor and a member of the NPP, a legal practitioner. And remember, are you going to court today?
No, today is.
Who are we taking to court? Oh, it's Friday, you don't go to court. Who are we taking to court?
He meddles in NDC matters.
He wins a lot of cases.
He meddles in NDC matters.
Gary's session.
He meddles in NDC matters.
Because you have internal problems there.
I'm sure you also say fantastic.
You have internal problems
there.
there.
So there's a lot more happening here on NewDay. We have a chop pot outside, and then we have other interviews and entertainment all coming up. Stay with us here. Good morning to all of you. And yeah, we're right back, so stay.